Welcome to Football Chronicles, your home for football stories, player journeys, match analysis, transfer news, legendary moments, and the history of the beautiful game. Manchester United's rebuild has reached another decisive moment. This week, three stories stand above the rest, and each reveals something deeper about the club's direction. The interest in Aurélien Tchouaméni reflects United's ambition to finally repair the foundation of their midfield. The growing links with Lewis Hall highlight a long-standing problem at left back. And the uncertainty surrounding Marcus Rashford raises a question that could define the remainder of the transfer window. Does Manchester United need to sell before it can truly rebuild? Later, we'll examine the position United must strengthen most urgently and the possible departure that could unlock the next stage of the project. But first, we need to understand the bigger picture. As of this recording, Manchester United's transfer strategy is being shaped by three connected realities: tactical necessity, financial pressure, and the manager's long-term vision. The midfield remains the greatest structural concern. United have added energy, passing quality, and defensive coverage through Santos and Youri Tielemans. But the squad still appears to lack a commanding presence at the base of midfield, a player capable of controlling the tempo, protecting the team during transitions, and improving the first phase of the build-up. That explains why United continue to explore elite options, even when those deals appear difficult or expensive. There is also uncertainty at left back. Luke Shaw's availability has fluctuated. United need a dependable, long-term solution, someone young enough to develop, but experienced enough to contribute immediately. That is where Lewis Hall enters the conversation. Further forward, outgoing transfers could determine what United are able to do next. Joshua Zirkzee may be available if an acceptable offer arrives, although no formal Juventus bid has been reported. But the most important situation involves Marcus Rashford. Following the collapse of his proposed Barcelona move, United must decide whether to reintegrate him or consider a permanent sale. Financially, the club must remain disciplined. Transfer fees matter, but wages, squad space, and resale value are equally important. United may have a clear plan, but executing it could depend on who leaves first. This week has not produced a major new signing, but it has provided greater clarity around the existing squad. Youri Tielemans and Santos have completed their registrations and are now fully involved in preseason preparations. Both are expected to play meaningful roles in United's midfield rotation. Tielemans brings composure, passing range, and the ability to progress possession through central areas. Santos offers athleticism, defensive coverage, and the energy required to compete across midfield. However, neither player completely resolves United's need for a specialist holding midfielder. There have also been no major departures officially announced since the previous update. Marcus Rashford's return from Barcelona is confirmed, but that should not be described as a new transfer development. It is simply the consequence of the proposed move failing to reach an agreement before the deadline. United have continued internal discussions concerning several squad members, but no significant contract renewals have been officially announced. With confirmed activity relatively quiet, attention now turns to the strongest credible reports. Manchester United's interest in Aurélien Tchouaméni is understandable, but the situation remains complicated. Reports suggest Real Madrid would only seriously consider allowing the midfielder to leave if the Spanish club first secured a suitable replacement, with Rodri among the names connected with their plans. Until Madrid make meaningful progress, Tchouaméni's availability remains uncertain. United have not submitted a confirmed formal bid, and there is no evidence of advanced negotiations between the clubs. However, they are believed to be monitoring the situation because Tchouaméni represents almost exactly what this squad currently lacks. He is physically powerful, disciplined without the ball, and highly effective at stopping counterattacks before they develop. He can win duels, recover possession, and provide protection in front of the defense. But his value extends beyond defending. Tchouaméni is comfortable receiving the ball under pressure. He can carry possession through midfield, connect the defensive and attacking phases, and provide the stability that allows more creative teammates to move forward. In United's system, that profile could transform the entire midfield structure. His presence would allow the team to defend higher and press more aggressively without leaving the center dangerously exposed. Tielemans could operate in more advanced positions, where his passing and creativity would become more influential. Santos could develop without immediately carrying the responsibility of anchoring the midfield every week. Mason Mount could also spend more time in attacking areas instead of dropping deep to repair structural gaps. Most importantly, United's defenders would receive better protection during transitions, an area in which the team has frequently appeared vulnerable. Tchouameni is not a traditional deep-lying playmaker, and he would not solve every creative problem. Adapting to the speed and physical intensity of the Premier League could also take time. Nevertheless, tactically, he is close to the complete defensive midfield solution United require. The obstacle is availability. Madrid do not need to sell him, competition would be intense, and United's financial position could limit their ability to act. For now, this is a credible but highly conditional possibility, not an advanced transfer. United's reported interest in Lewis Hall appears more realistic. The club views him as a possible long-term solution at left back, combining Premier League experience with the potential for further development. Hall's greatest strength may be his versatility. He can provide width on the outside, carry the ball forward, and support attacks from deeper positions. He is also comfortable moving into central midfield during the build-up, an increasingly important responsibility for modern fullbacks. That ability would give United additional tactical flexibility. When the left winger stays wide, Hall could move inside and provide another passing option in midfield. When the winger moves centrally, Hall could overlap and stretch the opposition's defensive shape. His aggression in duels and willingness to advance with possession also suit a team that wants to defend proactively. However, Newcastle would have little incentive to sell unless they received a substantial offer. United must therefore decide whether the improvement at left back would justify the cost, particularly while the midfield remains unresolved. Early discussions or exploratory contact should not be mistaken for an advanced deal. No confirmed formal bid has been submitted. Even so, Hall currently appears to be a more attainable target than Tchouameni. The question is whether United can create enough financial room to move from interest to action. That brings us to the most sensitive situation of the week, Marcus Rashford's future. His return from Barcelona has not ended the uncertainty. There is no confirmed formal offer on the table, and although Barcelona's interest appeared genuine, it never developed into a completed agreement. Other clubs may be monitoring the situation, but nothing concrete has yet emerged. The decisive conversation is therefore taking place inside Manchester United. Would selling Rashford provide the financial flexibility required to accelerate the rebuild? A permanent departure could create several immediate consequences. First, it would remove a significant salary from the wage bill. Second, it could generate a transfer fee that United could redirect toward a midfielder or left back. Third, it would change the attacking hierarchy and create additional opportunities for younger forwards. And finally, it would open a space on the left wing, potentially creating another recruitment need. That last point matters. Selling Rashford would provide financial flexibility, but it would also remove a player capable of producing goals, carrying the ball at speed, and deciding matches individually. United must therefore judge more than his potential transfer value. They must consider whether his qualities can be restored within the manager's system, and whether replacing his output would cost more than keeping him. If Rashford stays, United may need to pursue less expensive targets, structure deals creatively, or place greater trust in the squad's younger players. If he leaves, the club gains room to act, but also accepts another significant challenge in attack. This is why Rashford's situation is the central domino of the transfer window. It is not simply a decision about one player. It is a tactical, financial, and strategic decision that could influence every move that follows. The loudest claim this week is that Manchester United are close to signing Aurélien Tchouaméni. At present, that description is not supported by the available evidence. What appears to be known is straightforward. United admire the player, they are monitoring his situation, and Real Madrid's willingness to negotiate may depend on their own midfield plans. What remains unconfirmed is equally important. There is no confirmed United bid. There is no evidence of advanced club-to-club negotiations, and there is no indication that Madrid are prepared to sell without first securing a replacement. The barriers remain substantial. Madrid's strategy, competition from other major clubs, the size of the potential fee, and United's financial limitations. The development to monitor is Madrid's search for another midfielder. If that situation changes, Tchouameni's position could change with it. Until then, he should be viewed as an ambitious target, not an imminent signing. So, what has actually changed since last week? Rashford has returned following the collapse of his proposed Barcelona move, forcing United to reconsider his place in the squad. The club's interest in Lewis Hall appears to have progressed from general monitoring toward preliminary discussions. And speculation surrounding Tchouameni has increased as Real Madrid's wider midfield plans have received more attention. However, no major new transfer has been officially completed, and no significant departure has been announced. Before the next edition, 3 developments are worth watching. First, whether Manchester United make a definitive decision on Marcus Rashford. Second, whether the club's interest in Lewis Hall produces a formal offer. And third, whether Real Madrid make meaningful progress toward restructuring their midfield, a development that could determine whether Tchouameni becomes available. Manchester United's strategy currently shows ambition, but also caution. The club is identifying players who address genuine long-term weaknesses, particularly at defensive midfield and left-back. Lewis Hall may be the more realistic immediate target. Tchouameni remains the transformative option, but his availability depends largely on decisions beyond United's control, and Rashford remains the domino that could unlock the next stage of the rebuild. You've been listening to Football Chronicles. Which position should Manchester United prioritize, and which player, if anyone, should the club be prepared to sell? Share your view in the comments. If you enjoyed this deeper breakdown, please like the video, subscribe to Football Chronicles, and join us next week for another chapter in Manchester United's transfer story.